It's time to wake up.
Welcome to Ask the Guru. I'm J. Rob, the Guru of Peace, and also the OG of protein. Yes, I've been around the block. I am the OG. Started doing this professionally in 1980 when I opened up my first fitness club, Jay's Gym. And 1988, I founded J. Rob Enterprises and launched J. Rob Protein, the world famous J. Rob Protein that you may know of. If not, you got to find out about it. I've been doing that ever since, along with many other things, including my album, music, and various other things. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to answer your questions. You can always thank you for leaving comments about this show, and also asking the questions, because I take those seriously, and I try to answer all the questions I've received from everyone out there. So please keep those coming in. Today's question is about meditation. That was a question that someone asked me recently. I advocate meditation, and the question was, why do you advocate meditation all the time? I mean, it's always a topic that comes up anytime I'm interviewed or doing an article or any type of a podcast, TV show, whatever it is, meditation seems to always come up. Well, meditation is very important to me because it was a turning point in my own personal life. As a kid, I was basically hyperactive. My mother called me a wiggle tail. There wasn't Ritalin back in the days when I was a kid, and I'm going to date myself, but that was in the 1950s and 60s. I know I'm 49, but it's still, don't do the math now. So back in those days, you didn't take any type of medication or drugs because you were active. You just went outside and never came back in until your energy was, dissipated and you were tired. So I was a wiggle tail. But I stayed a wiggle tail all through high school and all the way until I got into college. And so I thought, gosh, I feel so hyper, and my mind just kept moving faster and faster. And the more I partied and the more I got into maybe some herb and things like that, you think, oh, you'd calm down. But not quite. The mind just kept still running out of control. And I'd hear songs reverberate and try to go to sleep, and my songs reverberating. No matter how much herb, no matter how much I partied, it still would happen. And so I realized I couldn't sit still. I had trouble sitting still in class, so I was definitely hyperactive. So I was watching a TV show in 1972 called Kung Fu. And the first time in my life I've ever seen someone sitting on a floor cross-legged meditating, meaning they just sat like this with their eyes closed and looking forward and did nothing. I thought, what are they doing? This was the Shaolin Temple, and Kwai Chang Caine, who was the star of the show, was a monk, and they were meditating in the temple. I said, I'd never heard of this, and I was, I was a freshman in college. How could this be? And so I thought, well, I have to find out what that is. So that started me on the journey, and it took me about 8 years to probably get settled into doing it regularly. I tested it out, and it was like 5 minutes, seemed like 5 hours. You ever sit down and try to be quiet the first time? Close your eyes? Especially now that we got cell phones and Instagram and everything else that can keep you mentally active. So you try to sit down and sit like that, even just sitting, being quiet, even in your car, just turn off the radio and sit down. It's like difficult, but it's just like training a dog that's unruly. An unruly dog has to be trained, or it's going to be unruly, and you will have a miserable life of the dog chewing up your shoes, chewing up the furniture, barking, yelping, pooping on everything, peeing everywhere. So you have to train your dog. Well, your mind's the same way. It will poop and pee everywhere. I know that's a great analogy, and it will. It'll poop and pee on you simply because that's the mind's job. Your mind's job is not to always help you unless you can control it. So that's where meditation comes in. Meditation is training your own mind just like you're training your dog. Okay? Your dog comes over, you say, sit. Your mind comes over while you're sitting down, and you say, sit. And when you say sit, your mind should sit, just like your dog, sit. If it doesn't sit, then just be quiet, and it will settle on its own. The more you do it, that's meditation. The more you do it, meditation truly, though, is when your mind is not moving. You're meditating then. And then when the mind moves again, you're not meditating. So you're really going in and out of meditation. It may sound confusing, but think of it this way. If your computer's on and you're typing things, something's going on the computer screen. If you turn the computer off or just blank the screen, there's nothing on the screen. That's meditation in a nutshell. If you're simply turning the volume down, or you're turning the noise down in your mind, and it will not stop, because its job is to keep going and going and going and annoy you at some point. So once you can control it, meditation is just disciplining your mind to shut up and sit still. Nothing more to it than I'm teaching. So meditation teaches your mind to be still. When your mind can be still, you have unbelievable focus. Your intuitions are in focus and in play fully. And this allows you, and this is the most important part, this allows you to hear God's voice that you can't hear when you're chattering in your own mind. Your mind will chatter right over God's voice. God's telling you what to do, giving you advice, guidance, do this, don't do that. But you're not listening because you can't. Your mind will not let you. Turn it down just like you would on a radio or on a stereo. Turn it down until you hear nothing, and then God's voice is very clear. So that's why I meditate, because I want to hear God's voice. I don't do a very good job driving my own boat in this world. So I give that steering wheel over to God and say, you drive this boat. I am happy to do and serve for you. So that's what meditation does for me. It can do the same for you. You can find out more about that. Just do a little research on that. I plan to put more and more up on jrob.com in the future to help teach people how to meditate and be still. And in the meantime, I want you to also comment today, and I want you to subscribe, and I want you to like this page, because our connection is important. I want to hear those comments, because I want to hear what you have to say, and I also want to hear any questions you have. I'll try to get to all of them, and I mean that. I do my best to get through the list. I'm trying to do this, every week, just get through all these and answer the questions. I've got so much inside of me that I need to share. So thank you for being here. Thank you for letting and listening to what I have to say, and I hope it's made a difference in your life. I really mean that. God bless you, and hang loose.
Get the chill on, hang loose.